What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to do a deeper dive on the topic of water and fat loss. All right, so a couple things. First and foremost, your body is 50 to 60% water. That's right, 50 to 60% of your entire body is water. 80% of your brain is water. 70 to 75% of your muscle is water. 90% of your blood is water. 15% of your skin, or I should say, 70% of your skin, 15% of your fat, and your bone, believe it or not, your bones have 30% water. So when we really break this down, water is required for nearly every single biological process that takes place in your body. It transports and absorbs nutrients. It helps with the breakdown of those nutrients and the elimination of waste. So this is why even mild dehydration throws your body for a complete loop. Basically, what happens when you're just mildly dehydrated, it slows down every physiological function, and it does so at a fast rate. And the thing is, the organs that are most reliant upon water, so think for a moment, your brain, right? We just said your brain is 80% water. Those organs are the most effective. So just keep that in mind. The two areas that we just said probably have the most amount of water, your brain and your muscles, will be most affected by your lack of water or being slightly dehydrated. And when we say slightly dehydrated, just 3% dehydration, that's not that much. It results in muscle fatigue, muscle weakness, just general feelings of lethargy and decreased alertness. But there's another component here, which we'll talk about in a second, which is decreased metabolic rate. And that is something that none of us want, right? One of the most important things in order to help our bodies burn more fat is to keep our metabolisms as elevated as possible. And most of the time when we think about elevating our metabolism, the only thing that we're really considering is how much exercise am I doing? Am I eating the right foods? But really, water ties in tremendously with your metabolic rate. And there's evidence that shows consuming a very liberal amount of water. And by liberal amount, I'm going to say 3/4 of your body weight in ounces. So imagine if you are 145 pounds, 3/4 of your body weight in ounces would be approximately 110 ounces of water a day. And that may sound like a lot, but when you are consuming that liberal amount, that is what helps to enhance your appearance and what helps to enhance muscular function. I mean, listen, there's a reason why athletes, while they're in the midst of their game or practice, are constantly consuming water. Because if you're dehydrated, it's not just about thirst. It's about your body needing that. And if there's one thing that you needed to do in order to look better in the next few days, in order to look a little bit leaner, in order to look a little healthier, drink more water. I would challenge you, drink as much as a gallon per day. And yes, I know you are going to be racing off to the bathroom like crazy, probably every 20 to 30 minutes. But what winds up happening is when you're consuming that much water and you are eliminating that much water, guess what you're not doing? You're not retaining water. So if you're the type of person who constantly feels as though they're a little bit bloated, that you are retaining a little extra water, it's not just extra body weight or fat, try drinking more water. It's guaranteed to flush out all the water that your body is holding on to. In fact, this was one of the tricks that we used to do all the time in bodybuilding and fitness competitions. While everybody else would dehydrate themselves, right? Trying to eke out that little extra, trying to make themselves look a little thinner, we would actually do the opposite. We would drink anywhere from 1 to 2 gallons going into that contest, because we knew that if we were constantly eliminating water, then guess what? We wouldn't hold all that extra water underneath our skin. But also the added benefit of that is your muscles, like we said, are 70 to 75% water. So when your muscles are full of water, that's when they have the best appearance. Another little quick little thing around this too, another added benefit. I mean, listen, we said too that your skin is 70% water. I mean, and we all know that sometimes if you're a little dehydrated, your skin just doesn't look as good, does it? So consuming water has just vast benefits. And if you're not consuming that much water, listen, just take the first step at consuming a little bit more than you are right now. One of the simple things that you could do is to hop online right now and search for large water bottles, right? And oftentimes you'll find come up like these 64-ounce bottles, or even sometimes I've seen gallon ones that you could fill up at home and carry around with you. And there's little markers on it that show you where you are during the day and how well you're doing with that water consumption. And something like that is awesome, especially if you get caught at your desk for long periods and you're maybe not getting up and taking that walk to the water cooler or to your faucet and consuming some water. Having that right there in front of you all day makes it non-excusable to not be able to consume water. So being prepared, just like so many other things, is key. Now, I want to go back for a moment to metabolic rate, because consuming water may influence your metabolic rate. So there have been some studies that show that water might increase your metabolic rate by upwards of 30%. And some of that has to do with your body heating that water. So many of these studies have shown that if you're drinking very cold water, which I personally don't enjoy, but if you're drinking very cold water, your body has to work hard to heat that water from cold to body temperature. But even consuming room temperature water, your body still has to heat that water from room temperature to body temperature. And in that process, it had been shown that drinking 500 milliliters of water increases your metabolic rate by about 24 to 30% within a couple of hours after consuming it. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest. Some of the studies around this, the evidence is not that strong. So we're going to take that one with a little grain of salt. But that said, there is overwhelming evidence of the effect of water on your autonomic nervous system. And that is essential to regulating your metabolism. So if there is one reason to drink a lot of water, right, it's to help you put your nervous system in position for success. Because as we already pointed out, if you're dehydrated, you have all those negative features, I should say, because they ain't benefits, all those negativities weighing on you. Whereas if you put the emphasis on maybe not consuming that liberal amount of water that we had pointed to, which would be ideal, but just again, above the recommended 64 ounces a day, you're going to put yourself in a very strong position for helping your body to burn more fat and for your muscles to work more efficiently, and for your skin to look a lot better, and for you to be more mentally alert. So that's it. Hopefully that convinced somebody today that you need to be drinking more water. You need to be a little bit more hyper-focused on it. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great one, and we will catch you tomorrow.